Night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall is 9:15 on Monday night. A wet, miserable Monday night after a wet, miserable day today. Horrible bad weather, cold, wet, miserable. Put you in bad form. And you'd be expecting then a few horses might run the way you'd want them to put you in better form. And what happens? They run terrible and put you in worse form. We're not getting much help, I was saying the other day, from a lot of the jockeys, but it's not to be a great week to be critical of jockeys, so they're probably doing their best. It's very important to get track position, good prominent position for horses, you'd think, and it's not happening lately. In that 2 mile race today, I thought there was no point him being second or third last, and no one stare after winning over 2 mile on the flat or on over jumps. Wouldn't have a burst of speed to win that race where he was positioned. And similarly in the that 3:30 at Kimpton, the Fox. He'd want to be a Fox to come under their legs where he was positioned as well. Slow pace and not to his advantage at all. And the other one was Made in Black, wasn't it? Back in Black. It'd want to come down about £8 to £10 say for a win a race. I wouldn't be backing him after today. He came to win his race and just wasn't good enough. So if two each way tomorrow, it looks like a plot job in my eyes, but I could be wrong. I'll have a look at the Melbourne Cup. It's on at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have two selections for it. In the hope that it's piss and rain down there. Someone told me a while ago that it was raining the last 4 hours, so hopefully peg it down on them. There's we'll go to the 3:15 first. 3:15 at Fairyhouse. There's two divisions of this handicap hurdle tomorrow, isn't there? No, one is 2-4. There's two divisions of that. The horse there that I think the step up and trip will suit for the inform yard of Ross O'Sullivan. Last 14 days, 6 out of 24. That's 25% in any man's book. If you look at this horse this time last year or a month, September 2024, on soft ground in Listowel, it was second, which was beating a good few lengths that day, if it was me. But that to prove that he was staying on and he travelled in soft ground. The good ground and a trip not long enough in Punchestown. But away then for a good while. Something must have happened to him that he didn't come to the track earlier this year. But he was in. This is him here in good enough position, but he loses position here on the turn, and he stays on to be lose position here. To see him, he's back in behind now. He hasn't the boot to get through this gap, but he does come wide here. Out this side he comes, and he stays on to suggest that the extra half a mile tomorrow would suit, and he's going on the ground before, and he's a good old, enough of an old jumper. He's a homebred. That got the run of the race on the inside for the local yard, on McCarthy. I couldn't think of him for a second. So hopefully the step up and trip tomorrow will suit. That lad is Stephen Merke. He has a couple of winners lately. He's riding all right. He for a £7 claimer, he's not too bad. What price is 4-1. He was 9-2 earlier. In the same colours, homebred as well. In a 3-mile race, and it looks like a step up and trip will suit this as well. Bred by the owner as well, John Unplaced. Break on for the first few hurdle races at 36 and 14652. The first time in a handicap, 20-1. It showed It had a bit of ability, rated 89, fourth of 23. Stepped up and tripped. There was a bit of money for it. It was fifth, only beaten three and a quarter, three quarters. In Roscommon the last day, it stayed on well, and there was money for it. I was there that day. There was money for it, and the trip wasn't fair enough. So I'm just thinking, did they say, look at right? There's two races. We'll step them up and trip the two of them, and we'll go for the double. So that's what I'm hoping for. So there are two. Melbourne Cup is on at 4 o'clock. The door must be open. 4 o'clock. Alriff is the favourite, but if it's team in rain, like in the Prix de l'Arc last year, the rain wasn't suited, and it's top weight. Top weights don't win it too often. Um, the two selections, one is Presage and Nocturne. That had an eye-catching run in the Caulfield Cup. It's the grey horse coming here. There's one on soft ground, 4 in France. Step up and trip. So won a third in a Group 1 in France on soft ground in Longchamp, and Group 3 it won on soft ground, short of 2 mile. The good ground, it's only bet there even though it was third, beating a neck. The ground was a bit dry for it. I'm going on the assumption that it is soft ground. And then the other one with soft ground in it, it's 28-1 in a lot of places. You want to be watching where you be putting on bets tonight, because the numbers bookie, and they're normally pretty friendly, punter free. They're only paying 3 places. And that's the first time ever have not seen their prices up here. And I would imagine that's why they're not showing that they're only paying 3 places. All the rest of them are paying 5, including, for once, I'm saying have a few pound on with the green bookie. And the blue bookie as well is paying 5. But Furthur, and look who's riding him, KD. One thing about the last foreign jockey, I think to win was Ryan Moore, wasn't it? 2015, would that be right? This last seen in the ledger, the English ledger for 3-year-olds. But if this is over a mile 6. Yeah. That's it back here. That's it back here, but it's a mile 6, so you can see hands and heels. It's picking up ground. It's closing the whole time. He actually just gives him a tug back there. You'd imagine from the top weight, he's only £7 inferior rating. He's getting £15. We get more a few years ago until they adjusted it a few years ago. Absurd is the nature and Vauban. They're saying this is their third time trying to win it. That doesn't happen too often. There's a Valiant King. as well, but he'll be closing late. But there's a big priced outsider. I think we were on it last year. There's more felons. That was in Ireland. We've acted a few times. In England, when it was with Milton Harris, scriptwriter. It was known as. They changed his name when he went down into the southern hemisphere. But that's it's age. But land legend. I see it 80 to 1 there. I think we were on that last year each way. It came eighth. Now, its last run wasn't hectic, but were they thinking of tomorrow? No, that's wrong for him there because that's showing that his last run was on the Melbourne Cup last year, but it has a few runs recently. Um, but I think said last year after the Melbourne Cup that could be one each way for next year, 80 to 1. If they were paying 5 places for a small few quid maybe. But ground is going to be key. I'm not sure how wet it is. I'm going on the assumption that it'll be soft ground, and they're the two selections for the Melbourne Cup this year. I was supposed to be there, but your man hasn't. He's in Australia now. Fergal Guihan. He arrived into Perth a week and a half ago. That, and he's 5 days, 4 days out of Perth now. He was at a rodeo last night, and I think he's having a few pints the weekend with people. His parents were over there to see him in Perth, and there was a sister living in Perth, and his nephew. So he was relaxing, and he's pedaling now all the way. It's going to take him weeks. So I eventually hope to meet him over there at some point, but it's hard to plan, and it's hard to get in contact with him to find out where, when exactly, or you can't blame him. Like it's going to be well into the spring, like at this point. So bash the bookies over and out.